Hump Day, and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I am Anthony Totri. We got Erik Ruby back in the passenger seat today. We got DJ Danielle behind the Mac, and then we've got all of the lovely folks in the chat. If you're new here, do us a favor. If you're new listening on audio, let us know what you enjoy about this episode, about this podcast. Leave a 5-star review. Hit that like button. We have a little bit of a different show for you today. Now, of course, this is the PHNX Sun Devil show. Erik,
huh?
We're You're on the right side. It's
okay.
It's okay. Normally, we're talking about the Arizona State Sun Devils, but you know what? I went to sleep last night, and I was like, you know what? I really just feel like we could use
what?
A discussion that doesning involve Arizona State.
I think that's a liberal term. I think that's a you
That is
thing,
what
buddy.
I needed. I woke up and I was like, you know what? I just need a break today, man. Let's talk about some awesome bowl games because there's a lot going on. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to spice it up on today's show. We're going to be ranking the top 10 bowl games of the 2023 college football season. A fun matchup really across the board. You look at some of these teams. Obviously, the college football playoff games. We'll get into that in a little bit. We got Donald in the chat. We got Glenn in the chat. It's not really. Would you call this salmon? He's asking me the salmon.
I'd say it's salmon.
Someone said it was peach today. Is it more peach or
peach
salmon?
Peach flavored salmon, salmon flavored peach.
Oh, wait a second. Before we do anything else, I don't know what I
just sparked.
I want that question. What would you rather eat? A peach flavored salmon or salmon flavored peach?
Probably a peach flavored salmon. I feel like I could deal with that better.
You want a peach flavor? Okay,
so salmon, want is a liberal term.
Salmon that tastes like peach.
Yeah,
or peach that tastes peach.
I don't think. I think
like
the peach consistency with the salmon flavor. I just don't know. If I'm gonna I'll take the consistency of the salmon with some peach. I don't know. Listen, the show's already off the rails. I'm glad it's off the rails because that's where I like things, and I have a massive surprise.
It's not another Kelly Oubre mixtape.
Kelly Oubre. No, it's not. Okay. Listen. So, celebrated Christmas with my family. Hope you had a great Christmas. Everybody that celebrates. I'm glad that Donald's here. Donald, I hope you had a great Christmas because my lovely mother gave me all sorts of great gifts. Mm-hmm. And I would say the one that brought the house down was
was
this one.
There's no shot.
My mom bought me a freaking Speedo, man. You should have seen my face. If you're on audio right now, I would highly encourage to come look at Totri's face right now.
I'm the color of my hoodie.
You're salmon-flavored peach face right now.
Your mother
My mom bought me a freaking Speedo, dude. The first show that my mother ever watched us do together was the Speedo show. And she immediately went and purchased the Speedo for me to give it to me on Christmas. She had it wrapped in a different box, everything like that. So luckily, ASU basketball is definitely not going to do any of the things that I put my bet down on if I was going to wear this on the show.
You own a Speedo now.
I do own a Speedo now, though. I cannot say I don't own one anymore. So if you ever want to borrow it when you go to the beach, brother, you let me know.
I'm all set. That is yours. I feel like you have to wear that.
We'll see.
It's a gift from your mother.
That is true. That is true.
You can't be disrespectful like
but
that.
I don't know if I think we might get demonetized if I wear it on the show.
No, I think we might actually be able to pull in some more money if we do that.
I think we can monetize, double monetize.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, Die Hard only?
Well, and we're getting down a slippery slope
Die
here.
Hard only?
What's your mother's name?
Susan.
Susan, you're phenomenal. That was amazing that you actually purchased
Yeah,
Speedo for Erik. I can't even.
Glenn in the
believe it.
chat says one day Eric's going to say something bold, and if he loses a bet, he has to wear it. That basically already happened.
Megan said he still hasn't tried it on for me.
I have
What
not
the
tried it
heck,
on for
man?
Megan. I'm sorry. I'm slacking. Look, I got it yesterday. We celebrated Christmas a day late because I had to work on Christmas. Shout out to the Suns for sucking.
I need you to be better, bro. I need you to be better.
Donald says it's a gift you must wear.
You didn't even. Okay, hear me. Okay,
What?
before we get into the actual thing, look, let's have a moment.
You said you didn't want to talk about ASU,
You're
dog.
not here. You're not here. The chat's not here.
Okay, me and you.
Let's have a moment.
Okay, I'm gonna face you. I'm gonna face you.
So you never want a Speedo in your life?
I've never worn a Speedo in my life.
either.
Do I look like I would have worn a Speedo in my life?
I'm not getting into the look like you wear a
Okay.
Speedo conversation again. But you didn't even like go try it on for yourself just to see you like.
No, not yet. We got home late last night. It was like 11 something. Tired, and I
That's
was like,
a gift I'm putting on pretty immediately. Not to show
you're
anybody,
leaving. You're leaving.
but I want to see. Like I want to see.
I'll tell you what. Donald just sparked a little idea in me. Said he'll definitely start an Erik Speedo fund.
Oh,
Maybe we could do a little something for charity with the diehards or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I own one now. So if I do put my foot in my mouth, which I mean, you put a camera and lights in front of me for an hour, a couple days out of the week, I'm gonna do that. Something's probably gonna happen.
I've got some buddies on the ASU swim and dive team. We're gonna turn that into
Oh
some content.
wait,
for sure.
okay. Listen,
We're gonna turn that into some content.
I'm all for the
sure,
I'm all for the
bro.
content, man.
That's
I'm all
gonna
for the
be a lot
content.
of
Shout out
fun.
Mama Ruby. She threw me a curveball too. I thought it was something completely different in the box.
Susan's an angel. For that.
And I died.
My
So yeah, I told you, massive surprise.
No, that was
big
a massive
deal.
surprise. That made my day.
I had to
hope
do it.
everybody know.
If Dillingham wins the Big 12, you have to wear. Okay, if Dilly wins the Big 12 year one, I'll wear a Speedo for like a 24-hour live marathon show. How about that? Look at his face. I had to bring you down with me. I had to bring you down with me. No.
Crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened. I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I have way more faith in that than ASU even sniffing the tournament this year in basketball.
Yeah. Look,
So
no
I mean,
ASU. I don't want to talk about
okay,
ASU
I'm sorry.
right now.
I'm sorry.
Let's
I'm
talk-
sorry.
look,
I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead. Let's start ranking some of these bowl
Let's do it.
games, starting with number 10. This one might surprise some people. They might have thought that we'd have it a little bit higher on the list. We're going from 10 to 1, 1 being the bowl game, I guess, that we're looking most forward to, I would say. Number 10 on this list, we've got Georgia and Florida State in the Orange Bowl. Obviously, two teams that had high aspirations this season, two teams that you fully expected to be competitive down the stretch in terms of, hey, can we get into the college football playoff, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Jordan Travis having a remarkable season with Florida State, undefeated, ACC champions. Jordan Travis obviously goes down with an injury. A really unfortunate scenario for them, and you kind of look at the way that things have transpired really for Norvell and the Seminoles throughout this whole conversation of the college football playoff. It's been a controversy, right? Not making the college football playoff and then now being in the Orange Bowl. And then on the flip side of that coin, you got the Georgia Bulldogs, a team that was number 1 in the nation for the majority of the season, if not the entirety of the season. And then you get to the SEC championship game, and they lose. They lose to Alabama. Now, mind you, they went from 1 to 6.
Yeah, that's a tough drop.
1 to 6 after only losing by 3 points.
Yeah, I'm looking at this game, dude, and I'm looking at Florida State. You could argue with Florida State. I understand why fans are mad about, if the quarterback was different, then we would have gotten in. I mean, I think that's actually probably a legitimate argument from them. But at the same time,
I think let's get that straight. I think Florida State is in if Jordan Travis is playing.
Right. Yeah. Looking at Florida State in general, injuries and transfers and things like that, and then you look at Georgia, who you have to imagine they're so angry. They're so pissed off that they not only dropped to 6, they're not playing in the college football playoffs, and they're going to be playing a rather beaten up team with a relatively full roster on Georgia's end. They haven't had a bunch of guys come out and say they're going to the NFL draft. They're not going to be playing, a lot of these games that we're talking about. Yeah. Teams are going to be missing a vast number of players, which a lot of people are upset about on the college football world because it's kind of taken away from the bowl games. I'm sure we're going to have that discussion a couple times throughout this episode, but I would not be surprised if Georgia just absolutely rolled them.
Yeah.
Absolutely rolled them because of injuries, because of play. They were the number 1 team for basically the entire year. They lost by 3 points, and now they're pissed, and everybody's playing. It is not a recipe for success for Florida State.
Well, yeah, and you look at the amount of players for Florida State that have entered the portal, and again, that's a whole nother conversation with
That's tough, dude.
The situation where some of these bowl games take place, the majority of these bowl games taking place, and guys, having to really decide on their future pretty fast. right? Do you enter the portal? Like, for example, Jaden Delora at Arizona, entering the portal, but saying that he is still going to be a part of Arizona for the bowl game. Just a very weird scenario. And when you look specifically at the Orange Bowl, when you get to these two teams, regardless of who is playing, right? Now, mind you, the guys coming in for Florida State, specifically the quarterback that filled in for Jordan Travis, entered the portal. So they are down a lot of players, to your point, and it's Georgia.
And they're
Georgia.
pissed.
It's
and
the
they're
Georgia
pissed
Bulldogs.
off.
They're in the SEC. And I think, look, this entire conversation about the college football playoff, what do they value? Are they doing it for numbers? Are they doing it for money? Does Florida State opt to leave the ACC? That whole conversation. When it comes down to what happens on the gridiron and you see these two teams play on December 30th, I think it is going to be pretty clear which team is from the SEC and which team is from the ACC. And you're not going to have, like, even if Jordan Travis is playing in that game, the edge is to Georgia. Now, you look at the spread, it opened at 13.5. Since players have entered the portal, since decisions have been made, it has gone up and ballooned up to 19 points. Georgia is a 19-point favorite.
Man.
And this is against, think about that. Think about that in and of itself. The Georgia Bulldogs, the number 6 team in the nation, a one-loss team. They are almost a 3-touchdown favorite over an undefeated ACC champion. That's number 5.
Yeah. And again, there's so much context that goes into that as well, but the money line is minus 1,000 for UGA.
Yeah, there's no value. There's zero value.
For UGA, it's unfortunate because, like you said, on paper, and again, Florida State's ranked higher than Georgia. On paper, like, fully healthy and nobody in the transfer portal and all that, like, this would be a really good game. Like, Florida State would definitely have a chance. I would probably still roll with Georgia if everything was equal, everything was fully healthy, no injuries or anything like that. I'm still probably going to put my money on Georgia, who ran through the SEC until they met Alabama in the championship game. But at the same time, if Florida State was healthy and they had a chip on their shoulders, that it'd be a great game. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I'm not necessarily looking forward to this one. I have a feeling this is one of those games I'm gonna, like, be looking at my phone and be like, okay, like, what's going on? And look down and it's like 14-0 with 8 minutes left in the first quarter, and I'm like, oh, maybe I don't need to do that. I don't need to watch that. It sucks though, doesn't it? Like, it kind of sucks. This is the number 6 and the number 5 team in the nation, and it's the 10th bowl game. Like, if we're ranking them, which we are, like, this show, this is number 10, and it's 5 and it's 6. That's tough. That's tough, dude.
But that's why it's number 10 on our list.
That's true. We got 9 more to go.
Let's go ahead, or actually, before we get to number 9, you're taking Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking Georgia as well. Let's go ahead and we'll keep track of this, and we'll see after bowl season who does better. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to absolutely take Georgia on this one. Moving on to number 9. This one might be a little bit higher if some of the other players are playing. Again, bowl season, this era of college football, you're seeing a lot of people opt out. Number 9, we've got the Holiday Bowl between Louisville and USC. Louisville obviously finishing the season number 15 in the AP top 25. You look at these two teams, it is a much different scenario now versus a regular season non-conference matchup, or even maybe if you're looking at a season where Caleb Williams is playing in this game. But Caleb Williams opting out of the Holiday Bowl, still, from my understanding, still hasn't, I guess, technically declared for the NFL draft, but all signs are pointing to that direction. Clear-cut favorite to be the number 1 overall pick. But you look at this matchup between two teams that really had very different seasons. From my perspective, there wasn't a whole lot of people talking about Louisville finishing the season as strong as they did. Again,
dude, they really turned it on.
A 10-3 team with some nice wins. You look at that win over Notre Dame, a 23-0 win over Duke. Duke was looking pretty strong. They were in the ACC championship game against Florida State and then just didn't have the firepower offensively to really get the job done. But Louisville was a team that I don't think, like you said, a whole lot of people really expected to be in this conversation as potentially a conference champion down the stretch. But here you are, and they're getting to take on a USC team, their last game, before that move to the Big Ten. It's obviously not a conference matchup, but there is so many storylines in this one, and I think you are really going to see where each of these programs are at from a depth standpoint after this game.
Am I out of pocket for saying I think USC gets rolled?
I don't think you're totally out of pocket.
I think USC gets rolled. Their defense can't stop anybody at all. And look, no Caleb Williams for USC. That is huge. He was basically the only thing keeping them afloat at times this whole season. It is a home game for USC, basically. It's in San Diego and Louisville and USC, where they are compared to where San Diego is. A lot more USC fans are going to be able to show up, but Louisville's going to be without two of their best players, their best running back and their best wide receiver, which is like a pretty big deal, especially for a team that ended the season so strong. Plus, I mean, their leading receiver, again, as a name guy, talk about a good one, Jamari Thrash.
That's pretty incredible.
Come on.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, USC is kind of crumbling. Caleb Williams is not going to come back next year. I'm not saying that they're like completely done or their program is over or whatever. They'll probably be fine. But it doesn't look good. This was a team that they started 6-0, I'm pretty sure. And they were the number 6 ranked team in the country preseason.
And you have the Heisman winner.
And now they're 7-5.
Well, they went down.
And they're definitely not favored at a home, basically, bowl game against Louisville. I mean, look, it's tough, and I just don't. Certain teams in college football have that type of like mojo about them. Even it's like, okay, we're down a couple players, we're down our star quarterback, we're going to be able to pick it up and go. USC is not a complete team like that.
No, they're not. They're far from a complete team, and I think the gripe that people have with Lincoln Riley, right, is Lincoln Riley has always been known to be an offensive mastermind.
Right.
His offenses are always super unique. They're always super dynamic. And let's be real, USC with Caleb Williams out there had no problem scoring this season. But defensively, it was abysmal. You were quite literally giving up 45, 50 points a game. And on the flip side, asking your quarterback to go out there and make unbelievable plays, not just every drive, but almost every snap to keep you in the game. And now you don't have that guy.
No.
You don't have Caleb Williams in the Holiday Bowl. Now, ESPN's matchup predictor does have USC as the favorite.
What?
53.4%.
Wait,
to 46.6%. Actually. But the line is in favor of Louisville. Louisville is a 6.5-point favorite. The total in this game is set at 58.5. I don't know if either one of these teams is going to be playing defense.
That's really weird. USC being favored by ESPN, but a touchdown dog.
Yeah, I don't get it.
In the odds.
I don't get it. Now, maybe being in California.
Those are like the ESPN odds, too, which is like that. The math is not mathing.
So who are you taking?
I can't roll with USC, man. The vibes are just so bad. It's their last game in the Pac-12. I think they're ready for the season to just be over. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they're a good football team.
That's fair.
They're 7-5. They barely qualified to make a bowl. Like they're not. I don't think they win this.
So you're on Louisville.
I'm on Louisville.
Okay, I'm on Louisville as well.
Am I saying it wrong?
Louisville?
I'm saying Louis.
Totri, I think you were nailing it with the
Louisville. I'm having pronunciation envy right now. Like I'm trying Louisville.
I know everything I know about how to pronounce that city from Brandon Fott.
Oh, yeah. Louisville.
Yeah, he had a little.
I'm gonna like mumble it a little bit and make it just one syllable.
That's pretty much how you have to do it. Is you have to mumble.
Louisville.
You just gotta mumble.
Louisville. All right, next game.
Whatever you say, Speedo Man. All right, moving from number 9 to number 8. Let's go ahead and discuss the Alamo Bowl. Arizona, Oklahoma, both these teams having some strong seasons. Again, I don't think anybody was really expecting the Arizona Wildcats to take the jump that they did. But here we are talking about a team that finished the season in the AP Top 25. We know what happened in the Territorial Cup. And now Arizona's going to get their chance.
Wait, what happened in the Territorial Cup?
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm sorry.
9-3.
I'm sorry.
9-3 Arizona Wildcats up against a 10-2 Oklahoma team. Now, Oklahoma, without Dylan Gabriel, transferring over to Oregon, lost their offensive coordinator, I believe, as well.
Yep.
And you're looking at this matchup, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like all signs are pointing to Arizona taking care of Oklahoma in this game.
Yeah, Oklahoma is another one of those teams that they're just kind of getting ravaged by the offseason before the offseason even really starts. They're going to have a 5-star quarterback play for them, but that's somebody who has, I think, only thrown 20 passes this season, I think. Like, it's in the way that U of A is playing. Look, I know, I hate them too, guys. Like, don't get me wrong, but they're playing really good football. They're on a win streak. They ended the season on a high note. It wasn't as high of a note as a 72 point win, but it was still a high note. nonetheless. And again, their last game in the pack, they're going to be taking on a team that's leaving the Big 12.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird full circle-ish moment in college football. But on paper, if I take my biased hat off, like, you have to say, okay, like, Jedd Fisch and U of A did not the unthinkable, but definitely the unexpected when it comes to football down in Tucson this year. And it's a kind of a model when you go to their 1-win season to now. It's a model that ASU fans can look at and say, okay, this is an attainable success story where in a couple of years we could be in a position like this. Yeah. I don't think it's that far-fetched. So as much as I hate seeing them succeed, as much as I hate like watching them play good football, it is in a way twisting it, encouraging for ASU fans to see a team that was so damn low.
Yeah.
Now go in and most likely, I would say I'm probably going to be taking them to win this game, taking care of business against Oklahoma. It's probably going to be the closest game out of the three that we've discussed so far. But I think I'll have to roll with the Cats just because I want my record to be good. But my heart does hurt saying it.
Yeah, Glenn in the chat, Arizona playing for pride and no opt-outs. I feel like Arizona will take it to Oklahoma and play hard. Look, this is the first time the Arizona Wildcats have been in this position in a long time. You best believe that Jedd Fisch is going to have his guys ready to take care of business. And you got a young quarterback in Noah Fafita. This is really going to be his first opportunity on a major national stage. And then Tetairoa McMillan, another dude, 6'5", 210 pound sophomore wide receiver that's just had an absolute monster.
He's gonna be a stud on Sundays.
monster season. This is a kid that's gonna play on Sundays for sure. And again, regardless of the rivalry between Arizona and Arizona State fans, Arizona, in my mind, is going to take care of Oklahoma in this game. Oklahoma with those opt-outs. Arizona, I have confidence in Jedd Fisch.
Yeah.
As a leader, as a coach, and again, it's been pretty remarkable to see this team go from quite literally the worst football program in the nation to a team that's now 9-3 and the favorite.
He's doing what everybody thought Deion did in 5 seconds over Colorado.
Yeah,
he did that. So you have to give him credit for that. And I believe the only players on U of A's roster that have played in a bowl game before are transfers from other schools. They don't really have any experience. And I mean, the chat's kind of going off, and as there always is, there's a lot of U of A guys in here. We love you. Your views count the same. They're
actually 0.75.
You guys count for the views down in Tucson, the conversion rate. It's all tricky stuff. This is business talk. It's so inside baseball. But going into this game and saying that they are, and the chat saying it, I think they're just the better football team. I think they had a really good year, and I'm ready to stop talking about U of A.
And ESPN's matchup predictor, dude, has Oklahoma as a 75.
What is up with this?
75.5%.
What's our friends over at BetMGM say?
Arizona, I believe, is a 3-point favorite.
Okay, as long as BetMGM's
got it.
Got it
I
right.
don't understand what they're doing with this.
Yeah, if this is anything, it's
according to ESPN analytics.
Just make sure if you're going to be putting your money down, man, just use BetMGM.
I'm taking Arizona -3, bro.
I'm gonna take U of A to probably win this game by double digits. But I mean, you think you're gonna put a little money down on this game?
Absolutely. You're absolutely putting money on these games, and if you're doing so, you're doing it on the BetMGM Sportsbook app, not just the Alamo Bowl, but the Holiday Bowl and all the other great bowl games.
That's the great thing is you can put money down on all of them.
Talking about maybe construct a nice little parlay with everything that we're going here.
What if we parlayed all of our picks for all 10 games?
We throw $5
put a little
each.
$5 down on it?
I'm down. I'm absolutely down.
Okay.
And like I said, you're going to do it over at the BetMGM Sportsbook app. If you've yet to sign up, they've got a great deal for you guys. Just download the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or visit BetMGM.com. Sign up and deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM Sportsbook account. Place your wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if that bet loses. And if that bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. So just to recap, sign up for BetMGM, use bonus code PHNX, place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10. And if that bet loses, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Get absolutely stuffed. Oh, I've been waiting to say
There
it.
is.
Just
There it is.
get
It's been a couple days for you.
stuffed. And listen, you can either use BetMGM online through their mobile app, or you can go to their sports book and watch all these games, put some money on it in person, and you can find that at Wild Horse Pass, Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Now, listen, nobody does it better than them, and we're kind of hitting that point now, like with NFL football hitting the end of their regular season, college football bowl season, guys. The sports nirvana that we've kind of been in for a little bit is starting to see its end. So you want to make sure that you can go have a good time at the sports book. And if you're looking to maybe fill some time when you don't have as many college football games to watch, head on over to any of the many locations at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They offer an authentic and immersive experience, unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement you won't find anywhere else. Like, genuinely, you seriously cannot find what they offer you there as far as like card games goes, as far as like slot machines go, blackjack tables, everything. It's the largest casino sportsbook in Arizona there as well. Nobody is doing it like them, and nobody's doing it like you when you are at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Plus, they've got a lot of food options, whether you want to keep it chill, something quick bite to eat, get back to the tables, get back to the sportsbook, get back to watching games, or if you want to maybe take your partner out for a nice date, go to a steakhouse. There's a rooftop restaurant. There's one by the pool. They've got so many different options. Do a little staycation there as well, because they do have hotel accommodations. It's everything that you need. If you have a little extra Christmas cash that you're looking to spend on an experience instead of just a thing, do it over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Let them show you what next level is all about. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
Love it. Now, moving on, keeping up with these rankings. Number 7, we've got the Cotton Bowl between Missouri and Ohio State. Number 9 versus number 7. Erik, this is another one of those games where
Backup quarterback for Ohio State.
It's going to be impacted by a lot of these guys leaving. And then some legit stuff with Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll be 100% honest with you. I have had conversations with people that do genuinely believe that they have knowledge of the situation, that aren't 100% sold that Marvin Harrison Jr. will declare for the NFL draft.
That is awful news for Cardinals fans.
That is awful news. Again, it's nothing's a sure thing, but that is what I have learned from some of these conversations as of late. And you just look at this Ohio State team. This is a group that has got a lot of those types of players that you could see end up declaring for the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, from my understanding, those guys are going to be playing when it comes to the Cotton Bowl. There are, situations with Marvin Harrison Jr. that he might not play, but it sounds like everybody else will. You look at the quarterback situation. Obviously, Kyle McCord is gone. You've got Devin Brown, only attempted 22 passes this past season. Chip Trainum, the backup running back who was at Arizona State at one point.
Remember him?
He's no longer there. They do have their starter, though, in Travion Henderson. Missouri, on the flip side of that, offensively, they've got their trio of weapons. Brady Cook, Cody Schrader, Luther Burden. They've got their dudes.
Good
but
names.
Where they may be hurting is they're without their two best defensive players heading into this game. So it's I don't know, man. This feels like a trap game to me. If you're betting on it, it feels like a trap game.
Like for Ohio State.
Yeah,
like
it feels like you want to
think
take Ohio State.
I was reading some Ohio State blogs and stuff like that, just because I like to get both sides, and I was reading some Mizzou ones as well. And they have OSU rolling by like 20, and I just don't see that. I don't, because this is a really big game for the Missouri program, and even their head coach Drinkwitz. He was saying he's seeing this as like a launching pad.
Yeah.
In kind of the world with transfer portal and everything like that, I think that when a team like the Missouri Tigers, who are not a powerhouse, they're not a team that people associate as a top 10 team in college football on a regular basis. You're playing Ohio State, which is going to garner some of the most attention out of any of these bowl games just based off of name and brand alone.
Yeah.
They're going to go in trying to rip the heads off those dudes. And they have a more complete team as far as who's returning for them instead of leaving. But Glenn makes a good point in the chat. I mean, Ohio State's backups are 5 stars and 4 stars.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
And I mean, it's the case with a lot of these teams. A lot of the reason why these players are leaving is because there's either somebody behind them who can probably come in and take their minutes, or they see an opportunity elsewhere. So there is a good chance that these guys can step up and that they can play well for Ohio State, but there's not a season of experience. Missouri is a way better opponent than I think a lot of people are giving them credit for.
They're the number 9 team in the nation.
Well, right. But again, if you went up to somebody, even somebody who casually follows college football or just casually follows ASU, and you're like, would you say the Missouri Tigers are a top 10 team in college football? I think you'd maybe get one person who was like a sicko who would say yes. I don't think that many people understand and realize that.
Yeah.
So I do think that Missouri is going to go into this game with a chance to prove something on a big stage against a big team, a blue blood program when it comes to college football, and they know it. So I think it's close. I don't think Ohio State's backups are going to just like go out and just fumble it and lose by like 30. But there are a lot of people who are just taking Ohio State to roll, and I don't see that.
So where are you going then? Who are you taking in this?
I'm
because Ohio State again, ESPN's matchup predictor has them as a 75% chance to win in Ohio State.
That almost makes me want to pick them less.
They're a 3-point favorite.
That makes me want to pick them less. The more like ESPN's prediction, whatever the fuck, is saying like, oh, they're gonna win by like, the more I'm like, I don't believe that.
Ohio State just doesn't lose.
This is the hardest one for me because I do kind of feel like I'll be a dummy. And be like, nah, it'll be Missouri, and then it's one of those games where Ohio State just comes out.
If you take Missouri and they win, you're a genius. If you take Missouri and they lose, you're a total dumbass.
Right. I mean, but again, to give credit to Missouri here, like they're a really good football team.
Yeah, they're 10-2.
They're really good.
They're a 10-2 football team. Their only 2 losses came to LSU.
And that was a really close game with LSU.
And Georgia. The only 2 losses.
That was down to the wire against LSU. That was a Jaden Daniels. I think it was a game winner? I think it was a game-winning drive.
They lost to LSU by 10, and they lost to Georgia by 9.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 losses all year.
I mean, the spread is close. I'm going to follow my heart on this one. I'm going to say Missouri wins. I think by 1 to 3 points, though.
I want to take Missouri because I feel like it's the right pick, but I'm taking Ohio State.
Is this the first one we're differing in?
I'm taking Ohio State. I think
that's fine. I think we can go on either end of this. It should honestly, out of all of them,
this is a game I'm leaving out of any parlay that I'm making.
Yeah,
this is absolutely a game that I'm not touching in reality because it is a gross line. And anytime you see a gross line where you feel like it's free money, then you're like,
leave that to Damon.
Yeah,
leave the gross lines
Damon
to Damon.
Super, super gross and keep that one to himself. But moving on from number 7 and number 6, this is one of my favorite ones. And honestly, this would be a top 3 bowl game if everybody was playing. But they're not. And we're talking about the Sun Bowl between Oregon State and Notre Dame. The Irish at number 16, Oregon State at number 19. Now, I don't think that there have been 2 teams hit harder than them both in terms of the transfer portal and when it comes to people declaring for the NFL draft. Looking at the Irish, for example, you're without Sam Hartman, you're without Audric Estime, the running back, 2 guys destined to try and make it in the NFL. Estime, a surefire pick. Sam Hartman, maybe a little bit in the later round. They've also lost defensive players like Cam Hart and Maris Louisville. And then Oregon State. We know about DJ Uiagalelei. We know about their situation with their head coach, Jonathan Smith. Like, this feels like 2 teams that are going to be shells of themselves when it comes time for kickoff.
That suck.
It does suck.
That sucks because on paper this is such a good game. I've lost interest in this game because of it. Like you said, if everything was on paper, everything was good, then I would be very intrigued by this game. Oregon State's had a great year on the field. I mean, all things considered for the program and everything like that, maybe not so great of a year, but on the field,
this is a culture game.
They have been absolutely. Honestly, I think that's why I'm probably going to roll with Oregon State.
Wow.
Because I think that they are desperate to end this season on a good note so they can go into the offseason and not be doomsday about the Pac-2.
I mean, they're already doomsday. And just because you're I feel like, look, they're desperate. I am desperate to win $1 million. Does that mean I'm going to do it? No.
I believe in you.
No, it doesn't though. They can be desperate all they want. This is when I say a culture game. What Jonathan Smith built at Oregon State, impressive as hell, right? Mm-hmm. To build that culture, to build that program really from the ground up, to make Corvallis such a tough place to play. And then you look at Notre Dame, right? And we have this conversation about culture, and you look at Oregon State and the Beavers, and you're like, okay, that's been impressive over the last, handful of years. Notre Dame's a culture that's been built for as long as college football has been a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So they can lose guys similar to Ohio State, and you're talking about 4-star, 5-star backups. I like Marcus Freeman to go in to win this game as the head coach versus an Oregon State team that quite literally has been picked apart by the world that is college football.
You might be talking me down. You might be talking me down.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't want to do it.
No,
Look,
that's
Oregon
fine.
State is only a 6-point dog. They're only a 6-point dog.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? You laid it out for me. You're just so smart. You're just so smart. I can't argue with it.
You're not taking the Beavs? You're not going to stick?
No, I'm sorry.
Stick with what you had, man?
No, I'm sorry. I think that might have just been a rushed into it heart pick because to be honest with you, like I'm rooting for Oregon State. I'm rooting for Washington State. Like I feel bad for their programs. I really feel bad for them, but mind over heart.
Oregon State has lost
Notre
3
Dame.
of the last 5.
Yeah.
Their only 2 wins came against Colorado and Stanford in the last 5 games.
We'll go with Notre Dame. I mean, and I would imagine like tickets for that game, probably not too expensive. I don't think people are wanting to see Oregon State.
No, I don't think people are probably losing their mind to go watch this game. But if you are, do it with Game Time. I was talking about it on the show yesterday. I've already got a bunch of trips planned in 2024 to go see a bunch of different concerts. Dog. And it's all because of Game Time. Game Time helping me securing those tickets at an affordable price and doing it kind of last minute with especially the one that I'm going to in January. Check out Game Time. It is a super, super easy app to use, and you really can snag the best deals with Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download that Game Time app, create an account, use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
This ad read's gonna kill me, dude. I'm so hungry. I bet you can hear it in my voice too. Like I'm starving right now, and I'm about to read about a restaurant that man I've been wanting to go to for a long time. I just haven't been able to make it out there, and I want to eat the piping hot queso, the tacos, the salads, the burritos. I'll get one of everything at Illegal Pete's, please. I'm so hungry. I need it, and after I eat a little bit, then I can maybe get a margarita. Then I can maybe get a beer, and we can have a little bit of fun, maybe watch some bowl games. But listen, whether you're a margarita maniac or a queso connoisseur, which I know Anthony Totri considers himself both, Illegal Pete's is your one-stop shop to spread the cheer this holidays. You can get a $100 Illegal Pete's gift card and get an extra $25 in gift cards for free, so you buy it for yourself. You're going to go there and you're like, I'm going to drop a bag at Illegal Pete's on some food and some alcohol. Maybe you're going to go out with friends and you guys don't want to like split the bill.
You can turn it into a vibe over at Illegal Pete's.
Oh yeah, you really can. $125 at Illegal Pete's. You could have yourself a good time, and you can get the $125 for $100. That's what I like to call free money and good food and good drinks. That's a big 3 if I've ever heard of it. So plus their t-shirts are just $15 for the end of the year. So you can even spend the 15 of the 25 on a t-shirt and still have $10 for free. They've got so many locations. Just go into whatever Maps app you use and look up Illegal Pete's. There will hopefully be one near you. And if there's not, it's worth the trek. So I'm going to be here daydreaming about Illegal Pete's. You should go there right now. Send me a picture if you go as well, because my mouth is literally watering right now. I'm so okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna move on. We'll move on. But yeah, man, go check out Illegal Pete's.
So going back to that Oregon State Notre Dame game before we move on, where are you leaning? Are you officially hopping off the
Notre
Oregon
Dame.
State?
I'm Notre Dame. I'm not gonna get crazy.
Taking Notre Dame. I'm with you, man. I'm absolutely taking Notre Dame. Donald, yes, it is in El Paso. And Donald, that's funny. I was actually at that game as well. So. That's crazy. Like years and years ago. Me and Donald just so happened to be in the same place.
It was meant to be you two.
Us two?
Mm-hmm.
My brother was in the marching band at that point, and he got crazy airtime on that.
Really?
At that bowl, yeah.
Damn. Like, El Paso is not great. I don't love going to El Paso. I don't love driving to El Paso. But I will take the Sun Bowl. I love the stadium that they play in. It's kind of like in between two mountains. It really is really cool. Moving on, we are officially headed into our top 5. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about the Reliaquest Bowl. Wisconsin and LSU. You've got a ranked LSU team versus a Wisconsin team that, look, it's Wisconsin, man. And it's not like Melvin Gordon's Wisconsin.
No.
This is a Wisconsin team that went, 7-5 this year?
7-5.
Barely made bowl eligibility. And you're looking at an SEC team in LSU that on paper should dominate.
No Jaden Daniels, though. Your Heisman.
You should dominate,
Heisman winner.
You're LSU.
I mean, this is the only time that ESPN's matchup predictor has it right. And they have it 81.7% with LSU. This one, man, I don't know. I'm not too thrilled with this one, if I'm being honest. I would have liked to see LSU take on a team that's not 7-5. And I would like
but
to see.
That's been their season. Their season's kind of been like that.
That's why I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see that again. Like, I would like to see them maybe take on a better team. At the same time, talking about backup quarterbacks, you're talking about guys leaving for other places in the portal, guys declaring for the NFL draft. I mean, you're not going to have your Heisman Trophy winner. That's a really big deal.
No, you're right.
If there was a game for LSU to maybe take its foot off the gas, it would be this one. But I can't put it in my heart, man. I can't do it. I can't take Wisconsin to win this
Nobody
game.
can take Wisconsin. It's gross. And look, this is a fun matchup because I look at it from a coaching perspective, and you've got Brian Kelly versus Luke Fickell.
Okay,
and
that's fair.
Luke Fickell, what he was able to do at Cincinnati for such a long period of time was really, really remarkable. Now, again, going to Wisconsin, getting the bowl eligibility with a roster that wasn't very good. And then on the flip side, you got Brian Kelly, one of the best coaches in, I would argue, the last 20 years of college football. I saw some reports that if Harbaugh opts to go to the NFL, that Michigan would take a chance and try and pull Kelly from LSU. Now, again, it is all very, very out there, but imagine this is the last game that Brian Kelly coaches.
That'd be weird.
That'd be
I don't
weird,
know. That'd be
wouldn't it?
really weird.
But you look at it, Brian Kelly left Notre Dame out of nowhere.
It's true.
Out of nowhere.
I don't think Harbaugh's going anywhere.
I want him to.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
I want him to be the
I don't think he's going
Chargers
anywhere.
coach so badly. I want to coach.
That's your heart
But that's
speaking,
neither
brother.
Here. That's neither here nor there. Look, I don't want to spend too much time on this game because
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
good.
be real.
I'm good
It's-
moving on.
I think LSU is gonna work them
Without a
It's
doubt.
gonna be much of a game, to be honest with you. LSU, they are 10-point favorites. The total on the game is set at 55.5. I feel like this has become slowly a betting show over the last 45 minutes. But just word to the wise here, LSU has gone over in 11 of 12 games this season. So take that for what you will. There's not a whole lot of value on the money line, minus 375. But again, this isn't a betting show. This is where we are going to get into the rest of our top five. Number 4, I said it before we even started the show. This is one of my favorite bowl games that we're going to get. Oregon versus Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl. Liberty, number 23 in the nation. Oregon, number 8. And guess what, Eric?
What?
Bo Nix is playing in this game.
That's
Bo Nix
crazy.
is playing in the Fiesta Bowl. How awesome is that? How awesome is that?
I'm glad. I think it makes it actually a worse game, but I'm glad.
You think it makes it a worse? Oh,
because I think Oregon's gonna roll.
You think?
I think
Oregon's
Oregon's gonna roll.
No respect
them.
for Liberty, bro.
I think Oregon is pissed off, just like Georgia. I think Oregon's mad.
But
I think that's why Bo Nix is playing.
I think Georgia has a valid reason to be upset.
No, I think Oregon's just mad that they lost to Washington.
They lost twice to Washington.
Yeah, but they're mad. That doesn't mean they're not mad. I'd be
They
double
be
mad.
at anybody but themselves.
I'd be double mad.
Be mad at yourself.
They probably are mad at themselves, and they got to go and they got to work on themselves, and they got to go work Liberty.
I don't know, man. I think there's just more to
It's
this
a
game.
16-point spread.
I know it's a 16-point spread, but
I think 16 points is
too much. I think
giving
it's
them
too
a
many
little.
points.
See, I think it's giving Liberty a little too much credit.
Really?
I think if Liberty keeps it within 25, that's a win.
Now
for
you're
them.
cooking.
No,
Now
dude,
you're
look.
cooking, DJ
Look,
Daniel.
what was it last year? Tulane played USC in bowl season.
Yeah,
right. Caleb
Tulane
Williams played
won.
in that game. Tulane won that football
Yeah.
game. USC had the
It's
best
fair.
offense in the nation. You're looking at kind of a repeat scenario here. Oregon, a very good football team with a really good coach, really good quarterback.
Mhm.
Everybody expects Oregon to roll, right? Show Liberty
But
a
not
little bit
you.
of respect. These are their point totals.
Are you going to pick Liberty?
I'm not picking Liberty.
Okay,
no.
there we go.
But they went undefeated this season, 13-0. Their point totals, they scored 34, 33, 55, 38, 21, 31, 42, 42, 56, 38, 49, 42, 49.
Can you do me a favor?
No, they didn't play anybody.
I'm about to say, can you read off
No, they
their
didn't play
opponents,
anybody. Their best
opponents?
opponent was New Mexico State.
They're 13-0 for a reason, folks, and it's not because they're the most dominant football team
Hey, man,
in the country.
I didn't say they were the most dominant football team.
I heard you talking before.
They weren't.
You're
going to
start
the most dominant
the
team in the country.
The PHNX Liberty College
Okay,
show.
Calm down. Are you going Oregon? You going Liberty?
What do you think?
Yeah, we're both
By
going
like
Oregon.
50.
Look, we're both going to Oregon. By 50? Come on.
I would be
Show these guys some fucking respect, man.
No.
I think it was Ralph.
No.
I think Ralph tweeted a couple weeks ago that they said that there's a good chance that Oregon is a top 4 team in the nation. They just got beat by a top 3 team.
Yeah,
twice.
that's super unlucky for them.
Yeah, Bo Nix playing too, man. I can't.
That's fair.
If you told me like my life is on the line, Oregon to cover the spread or not, I am so quickly taking that 16.
I'm really hoping that my life doesn't come down to Oregon versus Liberty. That's what
you never know where life will take you.
Well, hopefully not there. Hopefully not to the Fiesta Bowl. But maybe the Peach Bowl. It's funny. We started this whole show talking about peaches and salmons, and that's number 3.
That's what we call
the
a teaser.
Peach Bowl between Ole Miss and Penn State, number 11 versus number 10. 2 teams that were really in the middle of the pack.
Yeah,
I would say still the upper echelon of the average teams throughout the season. Ole Miss 10-2 on the year. Penn State same 10-2. Now you look at this matchup. Penn State is favored by 4.5 points, but you've got 2 programs that I would argue are continuing to rise. Right, and specifically when you look at Ole Miss, this is a program that I can't imagine over the last, 10 years has really been a constant top 10, constant top 15 program since maybe Robert Kimdichie when he was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, right? Can you remember that? Robert Kimdichie.
All right, moving on.
Ole Miss. But they're there.
No, I got
they're
you.
there for
I
a reason.
Yeah,
and
I got you.
There are only 2 losses this season. Again, Alabama and Georgia. That's it.
So here's the interesting thing about Penn State and why Ole Miss might have a really good time like taking advantage of where Penn State's at as a program. Well, yes, they're rising. They lost both of their coordinators.
That's tough.
They lost their offensive and their defensive coordinator. And you can look at that 2 ways. You can look at it way number 1, which is positive for Ole Miss, where there's no consistency. There's no like a body of work to look back on. To be like, okay, that's what we're going to build off of for this season. You have a new offensive and a new defensive coordinator. And I'm pretty sure one of them was an outside hire as well. Yeah, former Indiana coach Tom Allen is their new defensive coordinator. He wasn't even with the team the whole freaking season, and now he's their defensive coordinator for the bowl game. But on the other end, good old Lane Kiffin, you can look at it way number 2. You can look at it way number 2. He said they have no clue what they're going to do. They have absolutely no idea what Penn State's going to do. You can look at it either way. I'm going to look at it the first way. And even though Penn State's favored, losing 2 of your top 3 most important coaches, not good.
So who are you going with in this one?
I'm going to take Ole Miss.
I'm taking Ole Miss as well,
I'm going to take Ole Miss.
We're both picking the dog in that one. For the majority of this show, we have kind of been on the same page. With
we have. The only one we differed was Mizzou, Ohio State, which I so far, man, looking at all of these, Mizzou, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Penn State, those are probably the 2 closest games.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 that we're going to...
Arizona, Oklahoma, and then, the next 2.
The next 2 we're going to talk about are by far, I think that the difference in the tiers, I think 1 and 2 are just so much higher.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get to our number 2 game, the Rose Bowl between Alabama and Michigan, number 1 versus number 4. Now, look, I feel like you could have argued that this is number 1, but simply because we have seen these 2 teams so often over the last 5 years in this position, in these big-time games, is kind of why I have it at number 2, right? Because when we get to number 1 is a matchup between 2 teams that you haven't seen at that level in at least some time. Mm-hmm. But there is, I feel like, more on the line here for these 2 teams than maybe the ones playing in the other bowl game that we're getting ready to talk about.
Yeah, Michigan's had one crazy season.
And they could have a crazy offseason.
And yeah, I mean that's the thing. You're Harbaugh right now. You're the team. You're the program, and going out there and taking on an Alabama team that a lot of people did not want to see here. So it's rare that a team in the college football playoffs has a chip on their shoulder, but Alabama has a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Because the entire narrative has been, they don't deserve it. We don't want to see it. It's over and over and over again. Georgia's a better team, blah, 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 blah. Florida State, blah, 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 blah. Listen, at the end of the day, Alabama was the right pick. And at the end of the day, and I think to make the college football playoffs.
Well, it's a conversation of best team versus most deserving team.
Right. And
best team, Alabama's the better team. But Florida State was the more deserving team.
Yeah, I am actually not decided on this one yet.
This is tough.
You know
Alabama's only loss is to Texas, who is another college football playoff team. So
I want to pick Michigan.
You want to pick Michigan. That
want-
doesn't mean you're going to.
I want to pick Michigan. It's
you
so
rolling with-
hard for me to not pick Alabama.
And you know why?
Because they're Ala-freaking-Bama.
But you know why they're Ala-freaking-Bama? Because Nick Saban. And I am not going to bet against Nick Saban when it comes to the college football playoff until it's against Georgia. That is the only time that I'm going to bet against him. And that's the only time that I've ever bet against Alabama and Nick Saban. Nick Saban's the greatest college football coach of all time. Sorry, Harbaugh. But at the end of the day, until you can beat a giant, you are not in that conversation of being a giant. I'm sorry, Ryan Day is not Nick Saban. So you could beat him up and down the street all you want, but until you go take away the crown from King Saban himself, I'm rolling with the Crimson Tide. That's what you got to do.
You know what?
Oh, he's going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Hey, fucking.
I want to do it, and you should do what you want in this life sometimes.
Oh, my God.
I think, you know what? Let's go blue.
You say let's go blue?
Let's go blue. Let's go blue.
Oh, my gosh. He's
I think-
rolling with Michigan?
I think Michigan pulls it out. And I think this is a really big game for Harbaugh. If he doesn't win, he might go to the NFL, man. He might just jump ship.
I think if he wins, he goes. I think no
no matter what, you are just wishful
Yeah,
thinking.
maybe I am just wishful.
All right, we got to get to number one, though, right?
We do.
The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl, Auburn versus Maryland. Whoo, this is what college football is all about, baby. I lost sleep over this one.
I wish we had like a cricket sounder. That would be really, really fun. Look, before we actually get to the number one game, I want to tell you about the number one breakfast burrito spot in my life, in my heart, and in the valley. That is Burrito Express, guys. They've got locations all over the valley. If you haven't checked them out, I don't know what you're doing. Like I said, they have got phenomenal customer service, and the burritos are a 10 out of 10. They hit every single day
so
of
hungry.
the week. I'm still on the breakfast supreme, the bacon and egg, the steak burrito. Add bacon to that. That's fire. That's different. Grab a burrito. Follow Burrito Express on Twitter at BurritoEXP.
I got a cup holder, but I don't have a burrito. I'm just
You
I
always
need
got to look, man. It's things we start here. We put our breakfast burritos in cup holders. This is what we do.
Oh man,
We're built different.
the only way I can get hungrier is if I took an OG's.
That's valid. That is valid.
If I took an OG's, my Burrito Express is taking double the time. No, not double. It's gonna be eaten double as fast. See, I'm hungry, man. My words.
Just get two.
Ooh.
2 OGs, 2 burritos.
2 OGs, 2 burritos equals 1 happy Erik.
There we go.
Listen, I've been a fan of OG since before I worked here, man. I can't even lie to you. They taste so good. They're scratch made, they're local, they taste amazing. And on top of all of that, they feel so great. They make you just relax a little bit. I'm a very tense person.
They make you want to put a Speedo on?
I'm very wound up. I'm telling you what, I'm 10 times more likely to put on a Speedo.
You're 10 times more likely to put a Speedo on?
If I'm on OGs. Because
10 times?
Because there's always the stress and the anxiety and everything that comes with wearing a Speedo or just living in the world. And sometimes
That's crazy though. 10 times more likely to put on a Speedo.
let me have some hyperbole without calling me out about it.
10 times
Okay,
more likely to sit and watch a movie, or 10 times more likely to get a snack. I downed a whole jar of pickles the other day.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's a red flag.
No, it's not.
That's
You don't
a
like
red flag.
pickles?
No, no.
You don't like
And
pickles?
certainly not a whole jar of them things.
Okay, there was 6. There's 6 spears left.
I don't know, man.
I downed those, bro. If you don't like pickles, what are you talking about? I'll let you continue your ad read down.
Give us your take. Give us your take.
Pickles are disgusting. and
Thank
they have
you.
No business on any
No,
sandwich
thank-
anywhere.
I will not stand for this shit anymore. Not doing it, man. Pickles are awesome. If you don't like them, just leave, man. Danielle doesn't like anything that I like. Nothing. Why is my face getting so pink, bro?
I know
Totri-
why, because you're screaming.
Pickles are
Totri-
awesome. If you
Totri
don't
and
like
I
pickles,
have-
you're wrong. You're wrong. You're just
Have
wrong.
Wildly different.
Thank you, Donald.
flavors.
Donald likes pickles.
Of course, Donald likes.
Now, I'm not saying it's acceptable to down an entire jar at all times, but you have OGs. It's okay.
Oh, that's right. This is
Let's
an
get his ad
this is
read
an
back.
ad
It's
for
acceptable.
This is
It's
an ad for
acceptable.
OGs. Yeah, I forgot
Sit
about
here
that.
and tell me
God.
pickles aren't good. That's
Thank God,
bullshit.
thank God there's not a pickle flavored OGs that go under.
Oh
Listen.
my God.
Listen, OGs, they'll never do you wrong. And if you don't like pickles, maybe you will when you eat OGs. You never know what might happen. And they've got classics, they've got fruits, they've got creams. Ooh, they've got indicas, they got sativas, they got balances. I've been loving the CBD ones because I just need to breathe sometimes. And OG's helps me do that because sometimes my co-host gets wound up about pickles.
Yeah, man.
And it ruins my day. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Kelly,
I'm kidding. All right. Listen, I need an OG's now. I need an OG's. I need some Burrito Express. And I'm going to eat the Burrito Express on my way to Illegal Pete's because I'm just going to eat everything when I'm on some OG's, man. Listen, you can learn more about OG's in a non-screaming ad read about pickles. Go over to ogsbrands.com. Find out where you can find them. A lot of places around the valley. And for people who are not the biggest fans of THC and maybe don't like feeling way off, they've got these little mini ones that are just that maybe you need after this, brother, because they're nice, man. They're nice.
Don't
so
talk mess about pickles.
put a vote for pickles in the chat.
Don't talk mess about pickles, and we don't got to worry about it.
I think that's the closest we've ever gotten to fighting. I think.
Yeah, no, I was ready to end you.
All right.
I was ready to choke you out with a Speedo, dog.
Are you ready to end our top 10 list?
Let's do it. Number 1, we got the Sugar Bowl. None other than Texas versus Washington. Number 2
exciting.
versus number 3. 2 teams that we haven't seen in this spot in quite some time. And look, this is going to be a fun matchup. I am so damn excited to see Michael Penix Jr. on this national stage. Excited to see this Washington offense up against a Texas team that, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Texas is going to show up in this game.
Ooh.
I think Washington handles Texas, to be honest with you. Now,
define handles.
I don't think handles as in they win by 10 plus. I think it's going to be a close game. But I think at the end of the day, when you look back at this game, you're like, Washington's offense did what it's done all season long, right? They thrived. Not to say that it won't be a close game, but when I say handle, I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to showcase why he should have been the Heisman-winning quarterback. And I firmly believe that. I firmly believe Washington beats Texas in this game.
I am going to roll with Washington. Washington's had an incredible season, and Penix has been really good. And I'm a big believer in games like this, when you're at the top of the top, what gives you that extra edge, that extra factor. And I do believe that Penix is that guy. And when you've got that guy on a big stage, he needs to step up. If he doesn't step up, then that's not too great for his whole should have been the Heisman. But man, I don't know. What did you say about handled? How many points?
Look, this is what's the spread on this game. Just taking a look at it. The spread on this one is Texas is favored by 4.5. I feel pretty confident in taking Washington money line.
You know, these are another 2 teams that are leaving their conference,
their respective conferences.
Yeah. And yeah, man, I believe in Washington. I believe in Washington's football team. I believe in Penix as a quarterback. And Texas and Texas football, there's just something slightly off. Like, I think they're a really good team, and they did beat Bama, which is big.
They beat Bama a while ago.
It was a long time ago. So
we're both taking Washington?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Washington.
I'll live with it. I will absolutely live with it. Guys,
I don't know if I'm as confident as you, though.
Nobody's ever as confident as me when it comes to
Speedo.
When it comes to
You walked into that one, brother.
Hit that like button. That's going to do it for the PHNX Sun Devils show today. If you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You could follow Senor Speedo over here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You could follow DJ Danielle at Abrica Danielle on social media. And guys, we will be back at it tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Erik, you're going to be sitting right here again?
I'll be here.
Love it. We will see you then. But in the meantime, go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.